Gerber CFB Combat Fixed Blade. A really handy, light, but yet substantial. And I don't know how you can really get those two together, but I think Gerber's done it. No matter where technology brings us, the knife is always there. If I only had one tool, it would be the knife, hands down. And because of that, I think a really good quality knife is imperative, especially in a survival situation or in a combat situation. Now, Gerber's been making quality knives for a number of years, and they do have lines that are made overseas, but this is made right here in the USA, and typically knives made in the USA have better steel, they last longer, they just have a higher quality. Now, it has a nice tanto point, it's half serrated, and it has a really beautiful, smooth, black, anodized finish on it. It's made from 154 cm steel, which is a high carbon steel. And as many of you know, guys, I love high carbon steel blades. The way they cut, the way they handle, carbon steel to me is just the way to go. It does have the full tang, which is super important because you don't want for the blade to break off. You don't want a partial tang as much. These just really are substantial. They're going to last. Even if the handles come off, you're still going to have a knife. Very comfortable, rubberized handles. And when you grab this knife, it's just really comfortable in the hand. It's not too large, so you don't feel like you're going to lose control. You can really wrap your hand around the handle. Has a nice blunt pommel, but it does have a little bit of a point. So you can use this as an impact tool. Has a small lanyard hole right here to be able to put a lanyard through. It has a 4 1/4 inch blade. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick, so even for this narrow blade, it has a really nice spine. As you can see the thickness, and then it tapers down into the point. The serrations are really aggressive, and I think you'll really be able to cut, especially with cordage, or even as somewhat of a saw. This will really work well. And of course, the tanto tip is legendary. There's a lot of jimping that comes up at the top, so it really allows you to get your thumb behind the cutting. And then down here around your finger grooves on both sides, very ample jimping all the way through. Then here toward the back, comes right up, and then it's the smooth pommel here. Smooth on the back part of the spine, on the top. The overall length is 9 1/4 inches, and the weight is about 4.9 ounces. So it has a really nice, well-balanced feel to it. And yet it does feel substantial. It's just not really that heavy, but I really like the way this feels. It feels like it's very fluid, and the motion of this knife is going to be easy to swing. Now with the sheath, it's 9.6 ounces. And this is a very modular system on this sheath, and we're going to look at that in a few minutes. Now this knife is substantial, but it's not bulky. It just feels like an arrow. It's so narrow, but yet, again, it just has a great feel to it. It's very ergonomic. The rubber grips really make it feel like it's just at home in your hand. And it has really good traction. Excellent for cutting, prying, scraping, slicing. I mean, this knife will do it. Not only is it a combat knife, it just makes a great survival knife. There's a lot of different things you can do with this knife in many different situations. So it kind of plays the part of both roles. But fighting is its primary purpose. Even after the extensive cutting that I've done in the review itself, just cuts like butter. And I'm going to tell you, this knife was really sharp right out of the box. In fact, I cut my finger pretty deeply with this knife. Be careful with this knife. Pulling it out of the sheath, I just cut my finger open. Now the sheath is very modular. As you can see, I've got some MOLLE attachments on this Maxpedition Typhoon, and it fits really nice right here on the side. Low profile. It has these little snaps here. These arms right here secure the knife itself in. So even without the little straps, this knife is not coming out. And then you have to push it out and then pull the knife forward. It really locks on the blade side. But this is where you push it. You don't really want to be pushing right here because you don't want to catch the blade. So just grab it, pull, and the knife is out. The sheath is very versatile. You can attach this to belt loops. Of course, we've seen the MOLLE. And then you have a tie down to strap to your leg. So a lot of options with this sheath. Now that's pretty impressive. And as you can see, it cleans up really well. The manufacturer's suggested retail price on this is $154, but I've seen it in a number of places for about the $120 range. There are a lot of knives out there that are really inexpensive, that are cheap, and it'll show in time. But if you're really wanting something that'll last, something dependable, make sure you purchase a really high quality knife. And a fixed blade knife, there's nothing that's that strong. We don't know what you're going to encounter out in the woods. Be strong. Be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. The human race has been using knives again. The knife is your number one survival. If I had no other tools, it would save your life. So, the knife is your number one security tool.